Mas.
Bayangkan kamu datang dari negeri seberang dunia, hanya untuk mencari pengalaman spiritual di gunung yang begitu memesona. Tapi ternyata, yang kamu temui bukan puncak, melainkan kematian. Halo teman-teman Kontrapedia, hari ini kita nggak cuma bicara soal gunung, tapi tentang hidup, tentang batas, dan tentang bagaimana alam bisa menjadi cermin yang paling jujur untuk mengenal siapa diri kita sebenarnya. Kalau kalian buka media sosial, Gunung Rinjani pasti sering muncul sebagai destinasi impian. Hamparan awan di bawah kaki, danau Segara Anak yang seakan memantulkan langit surga, serta puncak yang membelah cakrawala saat matahari terbit. Indahnya luar biasa. Tapi sayangnya, keindahan itu seringkali menipu kita. Ia mengelabui rasa takut, mengelaburkan batas antara keberanian dan nekat. Salah satu kisah yang paling menyayat hati datang dari seseorang yang bahkan bukan warga negara kita. Namanya Juliana Marins, seorang wanita asal Brazil. Dia datang jauh-jauh ke Indonesia. Jalan-jalan? Iya mungkin, tapi lebih dari itu, dia sedang mencari pengalaman spiritual, sebuah pencarian jiwa, dan dia memilih Gunung Rinjani sebagai tempat perenungan itu. Namun takdir berkata lain. Juliana ditemukan meninggal dunia setelah hilang selama beberapa hari di lereng Rinjani. Dia terpisah dari kelompoknya. Diduga tersesat, kelaparan, kedinginan, dan akhirnya menyerah di pelukan alam. Tubuhnya ditemukan dalam kondisi mengenaskan. Tidak ada yang tahu secara pasti apa yang dia alami saat detik-detik terakhir, tapi kita bisa membayangkan betapa sunyinya, betapa sepinya, betapa menyakitkannya. Teman-teman Kontrapedia, Gunung Rinjani bukanlah taman wisata. Ia bukan tempat yang bisa ditaklukkan hanya dengan modal kamera dan niat. Ia adalah guru besar yang keras, yang tidak segan memberikan pelajaran dengan harga mahal, bahkan nyawa. Juliana bukan satu-satunya korban di gunung ini, tapi kisahnya menggambarkan dengan sangat jelas betapa kita sebagai manusia seringkali terlalu sombong, mengira kita bisa mengendalikan alam. Padahal di hadapan alam, kita bukan siapa-siapa. Kalau kalian bertanya, memangnya Rinjani separah itu? Saya akan jawab, iya. Jalur pendakiannya curam, bebatuan lepas, pasir tebal, jalanan menyempit, dan yang paling berbahaya, kabut tebal dan perubahan cuaca yang tak bisa diprediksi. Hujan bisa datang kapan saja, angin bisa berubah menjadi badai, dan malam di Rinjani itu bukan sekedar gelap, tapi bisa jadi malam terpanjang dan tergelap dalam hidupmu. Bayangkan kamu berada sendirian di tengah kabut, oksigen menipis, tubuh menggigil, langkah goyah, belerang menusuk hidung. Kamu sudah terlalu lelah untuk berpikir logis, dan halusinasi mulai datang. Dan inilah yang dipercaya terjadi pada Juliana. Dia terlalu lelah, terlalu dingin, dan terlalu jauh dari bantuan. Teman-teman Kontrapedia, ini bukan cerita horor, ini realitas. Realitas yang terlalu sering kita abaikan karena terlalu terpesona oleh foto Instagram. Saya tahu kita semua ingin merasakan puncak, ingin membuktikan bahwa kita kuat, bahwa kita berani. Tapi keberanian tanpa persiapan adalah kebodohan, dan Gunung Rinjani tidak pernah kompromi dengan kebodohan. Saya nggak bilang jangan mendaki, tapi mendakilah dengan hormat, mendakilah dengan kesadaran penuh, karena setiap langkah di Rinjani bisa jadi adalah taruhan antara hidup dan mati. Mendakilah bukan untuk pamer, tapi untuk belajar. Belajar tentang diri sendiri, belajar tentang keterbatasan, belajar tentang alam yang selama ini hanya kita pandang lewat layar kaca. Dan buat kalian yang pernah mencapai puncaknya, kalian tahu bahwa nilai sejati dari Rinjani bukan ada di puncak, tapi di setiap langkah yang diambil, di setiap rasa takut yang dihadapi, dan di setiap pelajaran yang ditinggalkan oleh mereka yang tidak pernah kembali. Juliana mungkin tidak berhasil sampai puncak, tapi kisahnya telah sampai ke hati banyak orang. Ia meninggalkan pesan bahwa alam harus dihormati, bukan ditaklukkan. Untuk Juliana Marins, semoga arwahmu tenang. Terima kasih telah mengingatkan kita bahwa alam bukan tempat untuk diuji nyali, tapi tempat untuk merendahkan hati. Buat kalian yang ingin mendaki Rinjani atau gunung manapun, pastikan bukan hanya fisik yang siap, tapi juga mental dan niat yang sama. Jangan lupa klik like, share, dan subscribe kalau kamu merasa video ini bisa jadi pengingat buat teman-teman kamu. Komentar di bawah kalau kamu punya pengalaman serupa atau mungkin pernah melihat sisi gelap dari gunung yang indah. Sampai jumpa di video berikutnya. Tetap waras, tetap hormat pada alam. Karena di hadapan semesta, kita hanyalah tamu yang tak tahu kapan harus pulang.
For days, my entire For You page has been about the tragedy that happened on Rinjani and the woman from Brazil, Juliana, who passed away because she fell into, I believe, the crater, or where all of the sand is on the top, all of the volcanic sand. And she wasn't able to be retrieved. And there's a lot of blame being put on the rescue team without considering the circumstances of Rinjani and the terrain and the difficulty of completing a rescue mission on an active volcano and how nearly impossible that can be. Combined with her clear lack of hiking skill, and this is by no means to disrespect her, it's really, really crucial as a tourist that if you choose to do a hike, even if people complain the tour guides all they want, and they say, oh, but everywhere in Lombok and everywhere in Indonesia, you see advertisements, hike Rinjani, hike Rinjani, hike Rinjani. But it's your job to research things yourself. They don't know you. They don't know your life experience. They don't know your skill level. Could they be asking more questions to better vet people to decide if they should be allowed to go up Rinjani? Sure, absolutely. But you shouldn't hike an active volcano if you're not an experienced hiker. I've lived in Indo for 6 years. I've been invited by people to hike Rinjani many times. I won't do it because I'm not a hiker. I struggle going up to a small peak. I don't really enjoy hiking. It's not something I've tried to excel at and succeed with in my life. And when I saw how slippery it is towards the peak of Rinjani due to the sand, I know myself and I know how clumsy I am, and I know I would roll down that shit and you would never find me again. And that's just reality. So yes, there does need to be probably a regulation change in who is allowed to hike these places. But what happened to individual responsibility for our own choices and actions, and also recognizing risk? Because most of the time, if you do any high-risk activity anywhere in the world, especially in the Western world, if that's what we're talking about, Western standards, you're going to have to sign something that says that they're not responsible for your life. You are. You are responsible for your life. And people saying, well, she was left behind and this, that. If you're choosing to hike in a group, because there's probably an option to get a private guide for a higher price point or to get a group guide, right? If you know that you are not an experienced hiker and you really want to go up Rinjani, then you should probably hire a private guide and not join a hiking group of people who probably have a pretty decent level of hiking experience and are able to complete the summit. If you hire a private guide and you need to take a rest, your guide can stand by you. But what is the guide supposed to do if they have, let's say, a group of 5 or 10 people and one person isn't feeling well? You either have to push through and stick with the group or you get left behind. And I know they say you're not supposed to leave anybody behind on a hike, but you're also not supposed to hike if you're not prepared to hike. That's just how hiking works. I saw that her family was they were shocked that Rinjani wasn't closed down because of their daughter's passing. And while I have so much respect for their grief and what they're probably experiencing and the shock they're going through right now, that's unfair. To close an entire mountain down because of one person's irresponsibility. That's not fair. That's people's livelihood. And it's a beautiful place that a lot of people come to Indonesia just for that. And now maybe they've trained for it for a really long time. Maybe they spend a long time summiting smaller peaks to prepare for that hike. And now they're supposed to close it down because of one person's irresponsibility. And once again, I don't want to disrespect her in any way, but we need to use this opportunity to really take a moment to anywhere in the world and any activity that you're doing when you're on holiday, consider your skill level. I see it all the time with surfing. My partner has a surf school here in Bali, and he's very, very, very adamant that if people don't have a high skill level in swimming, or if they have fears around the ocean, they need to book a private lesson. Because people will want to be cheap and save $200K and book a group, and then they're miserable and they can't get back to the lineup and they're flapping around and freaking out. Is that the coach's fault? No! It's your fault for being cheap. Active volcanoes are not photo ops. In general. There was an instance just a few months back, I think it was Agung. Somebody died on Agung because they tried to go up without a guide, probably trying to save money, and they died. And then Balinese people had to have so much ceremony, bring so much bantan, do so many offerings, because somebody irresponsibly died on their sacred mountain. Accountability matters. It's extremely cloudy up there. If we're coming back to Rinjani, to cycle back to it one more time, it's extremely cloudy, very hard to send helicopters in. Nobody can go down that to retrieve somebody. If they send a rope down, there's no way for them to grip in because they're on sand. There are so many circumstances. So to repetitively disrespect the extremely skilled team that tried to rescue her is not necessary to honor her life. We mustn't blame people who have trained their entire lives for this. Indonesian hikers don't play games. So for you to act like they don't have the skill set and in this country they can do this and in this country they can do that, then you don't know Indonesian hikers. They're extremely good at their craft and they're very, 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 very skilled at mountaineering. I mean, Indonesian hikers will hike in flip-flops and live off of pot meat. And not to say that that's the way that you should hike, but I'm saying don't act like they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.